Hey everyone, do you ever feel like you need to work hard to prove yourself? Do you ever feel like maybe you struggle with not being good enough? Maybe one day you're, at the academy, at the gym, you're working hard, you're training, you're winning, you're submitting people, but the minute that you start to lose, you start questioning your value and if you're good enough. Or maybe, you're doing good, you're beating this person because you feel like inside, I have to win, but maybe they go and they start to like take your back and you're like, oh no, oh no, oh no. Somehow, if they take my back, my value is lowered, right? I think we all can relate to that at a certain season in our life. So today we're going to talk about how to overcome those feelings of insecurity. And, we've found kind of 3 steps that help us get to that point of winning over those fears and finding freedom in our jiu-jitsu. Number 1 is we have to identify. We have to identify it. Number 2 is we need to address it. And then number 3 is we overcome.
Yeah, so before we start, this is the Church on the Mat. This is Hernando.
I'm Amanda.
We're Jiu-Jitsu black belts combined. We got training over 30 years combined. We also own a Jiu-Jitsu school. So we're gonna have this covered for you guys. So when it comes to identify, so just real quick, how I started Jiu-Jitsu. I started back in 2007. I was very insecure. I was going through a divorce. I only weighed maybe 140, 150 pounds at the time. I'm almost 6 foot, so I'm about 180 now. And I quit on everything in life. My marriage, relationships, business, all these things I've quit. But for whatever reason, Jiu-Jitsu for me, it was like I cannot give up. I cannot give up on Jiu-Jitsu because I wasn't a Christian then, and I had to put my value on becoming a Jiu-Jitsu black belt. So I had to put my value on submitting people. So that was the only thing I kept going. The only reason why was I had to win. I had to compete to prove to people that I am something. So, and once I became a Christian, then all that went away. I knew who I am and who I belong to and who died for me, that I don't have to prove to anybody. And I have other stories as well, but it's just to share that we can't tie our worth and our identity to a belt.
Right.
To beating the person on the mat, to I never won worlds, right? I've won several tournaments, IBJJF and other tournaments as well too, but I couldn't tie my worth to a gold medal or a tournament or a person, right? So yeah, have anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, no, I think that's super good. A little bit about kind of my testimony is, so yours is interesting, right? Because when you became a Christian, you were like, I know who I am. For me, it was like, I was a Christian, but I still didn't know who I was, and I wouldn't have readily admitted that I was insecure. I'd be like, no, I'm not insecure. But all of my actions showed I was insecure, right? When I feel the need to win every single match, if I don't win, I'm like, inside oh, how am I gonna beat that person? You know what I mean? And it was like there was this tie in of self-worth to my ability to win on the mat. And some people, it might not be necessarily submitting the person. Some people, it might be like getting that belt, getting that next belt, getting that next promotion. Or it could be having the instructor be like, hey, good job, and seeing you, right? So everybody has kind of a different internal motivator of what kind of builds their confidence. But the reality is, as Christians, if anything is feeding our confidence besides our identity in Christ, we're always going to feel bankrupt, because there's always nothing and no one is ever going to be able to completely fill that need except for Jesus Christ, right? So it's important to kind of think about that. And if that's a new concept to you, I encourage you to keep listening and kind of ask yourself some questions. And my first question would be what is an issue that you are currently dealing with? What is an insecurity that maybe you're saying, oh man, I need to identify why I feel this way. And so I'll just tell you my story. I was a purple belt, and this was 5 years ago, this kind of all culminated. And I would average a broken bone every 2 years. And it was pretty much always a dude twice my size that I felt the need that I had to beat him, I had to win, right? And about 5 years ago, actually almost to this day, on this mat right here, I was going with a guy who was way bigger than me. I was a purple belt, he was a blue belt. and I was going for a spinning armbar from mount, and he pushed me as he bridged and shrimped out, and instead of letting go of the armbar, I held on. And what happened was I fell and I hit my temple and my shoulder. So I got a nasty concussion, broke my clavicle, and the ambulance had to come and cart me out. I was out so bad that I literally forgot like the past month of my life. And in that past month, my father had passed away. So I had to relive my father passing away. Like I had to regain those memories all over again. And that was so traumatizing. And I realized at that moment, as I started to regain, consciousness, right, and be able to kind of heal from the injury, I have to slow down. I have to figure out what is causing me to always need to win. And anybody who trained with me before knew that Amanda always wanted to win. And to be honest, I usually did. Like I was very scrappy. I can turn it on, right? But because I had this motivator that I had to win, right? And so I started recognizing, okay, so then I identified, I always go so fast, right? And it's because deep down inside, I felt that my value was tied to my ability to win. And then I had to address it. I had to start peeling back the pieces in me that were pushing those symptoms out, right? Because the symptoms weren't really the problem. The problem was deep down inside. As a little girl, I was told I needed to be tough. I was told I needed to be strong. I was given the impression that nobody was coming to save me but me, right? And so I had to allow Jesus to come in and heal me and tell my little girl heart, you're safe, it's okay. You don't have to win everything. You're safe in my arms. And that might sound to some of you who have never experienced freedom, maybe cliche, but to those who have experienced freedom, you know what I'm saying. And to some of you, I think you have a desire for freedom and a hunger for that truth. And I would say the only way, the third point, is overcoming. It's through Jesus Christ. And it's through asking him in a relationship with him, Lord, how do you want to heal this? How do you want to heal this piece of me that feels unsafe? Because generally that's what insecurity really comes from, not feeling safe.
Absolutely. So to overcome that as well, I'm going to just speak for me, is once you're like, okay, so Jesus Christ died on the cross for me and he rose on the third day so I can be saved. So I believe in that, and now I got my ticket to heaven. That all your problems are going to go away. It's a daily thing. Right. We read our Bibles. And for me, kind of where we're at now, we went from a sport jiu-jitsu school to a self-defense school, right? And I had to really humble myself and kind of start all over, I'm still a black belt, but just a different mindset. Mm-hmm. And I had to basically lose myself in order to find myself, right? So doing sport jiu-jitsu my whole life, not my whole life, but for a very, very long time, and learn a new way. And then when I was able to overcome that insecurity that I don't have to prove to myself, I'm a second degree black belt, but I don't have to prove to myself every day that I'm a black belt.
Right.
I already know that I'm a black belt. I already know the skills. I'm very confident in who I am, but it's mainly because of Christ. Christ says I am good enough.
Yeah.
I don't need to prove to anybody. I've done the work and continue to do the work, and I still get tapped by my own students. Doesn't make me less of a coach. It just shows that I'm willing to try new things and let it go to show people leadership, to show people like it's okay, a black belt can tap. I don't have to beat everybody up to prove to myself every day that I'm the chief, right, that I'm the leader.
Right.
Like it's okay. If anything, like Jesus, he became the servant and washing the disciples' feet. He's the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, and he didn't have to do any of that. But it just, to me and my students and my white belts and my blue belts, like I want them to be better than me. Mm-hmm. Right? I don't have to be the top dog and keep techniques away from them. I want them to tap me. I want them to make me better, and I want to build them up. So that's how I was able to overcome that. And every day I have to overcome that. It's just not a one and done. It's a daily reminder like, hey, I'm here to serve people. I'm here to serve you guys, make you guys better than me. And that's how I'm going to get better as well too. And a lot of it is because I just model Jesus. That's what it is. So
yeah, I love that. And I think that's good leadership, right? If you think about a good parent wants their child to have everything that they didn't have, right? They want them to become stronger, better, faster, smarter, everything, right? That's what a good parent does. A good parent doesn't say, oh, I'm only successful if my child stays under my wings forever and I'm always better than my child in everything. That is a parent that has a lot of healing that he or she still needs to do. And I would say the same is true for a leader. So if your leader, whether that's business, jiu-jitsu, anything, feels that they need to keep you suppressed in order for them to find value, I think that's something you have to stop and say, do I want to be under this leadership? Because the only way you're going to really grow truly is if you're under good leadership that says, go, run, do more than I've done, be better than I've been, be smarter than I've been, learn these techniques before I ever learn them. That's what a good leader does. A good leader doesn't need to hold you underneath their thumb to find value.
Absolutely. So if this resonates with you, we have more comment coming out. So
content.
Content. Sorry.
Yeah, comments too. Yeah.
Put a comment of we want to like answer your questions. So put a comment in there.
Yeah, and also I want to know what you've overcome. Right? So share what you've overcome in the comments below, because you may have been on your journey for 2 years and somebody else that's going to look at your comment have only been on the journey for 1 month. Right? So what have you overcome in your 6 months of training, your 5 years of training, your 10 years, your 2 years, your 20 years of training, right? We can learn from you too, right? Even if you're a blue belt, we can learn from you too. And all the people reading the comments can learn. So let us know what you've overcome. And we'd love to know maybe a little bit of like how you overcame it.
Yes. So if you guys like the rash guards, fitment, so you want to explain what happened to you last
time? So this is classic Amanda. I put on my husband's rash guard and it was a large, so that's why it was so, I was like, you guys definitely need to size down. No, this is a small, so probably fairly accurate. They're a little bit long, that's true, not too bad, but definitely I had on my husband's rash guard last time. So
on the show notes, if you guys want to order one, the affiliate link is on there. We make a small commission to kind of keep this going.
Yeah.
If you guys love the content, like, comment, subscribe, share our stuff, guys. It really helps boost the algorithm and lets more people see what we got going on, okay? If you guys want to see more, we actually did a video. You can click right over here of why we quit sport jiu-jitsu and went all in on self-defense. Appreciate you guys.